Hi, and welcome back to the introduction to the Firebird. I'm glad you made it this far. I hope I didn't scare anyone away with my long, boring previous two episodes, because this is the episode you've all been waiting for. This is where I actually start to play. So, first I want to show you my actual hand position, the way I hold the horn, just because in the very few videos out there that I've seen of Maynard Ferguson playing either Superbone or Firebird, he tends to hold the horn with his left hand, and so he fingers the horn with his left hand, and then uses his right hand on the slide. Now I suppose that's good if you have left hand valve technique, which I don't really have, or right hand slide technique, which I also really don't have. So what I do is I do the opposite. I hold the horn in my right hand like I was playing a regular trumpet, and so I can finger with my right hand, and I have, nice blazing fast right hand finger speed, and I reach across the horn and manipulate the slide with my left hand. That way, since I normally just use the slide to play ornaments, I can, hit the note in my right hand and then just play around it with my left hand. I found that works for me really well, and and like I said, I'm going to show you how I actually use that. Another important thing that I forgot to mention before is the slide lock. Very important, because if this lock is unlocked and you forget that, then of course the slide falls out. You have to bring it to the repairman. You can't finish the gig that night. Really bad. And an advantage to me is that I can just reach around. If I'm using my left hand, I can just reach around and lock and unlock at will while I'm playing. So, that being said, here's how I use the valves and slide in conjunction. Let's say I'm going for a G, okay, and I'm going to ornament something and come up to a G. I will finger the G, because that's the note that I'm going for. But then, let's say if I'm in the key of G major and I want to play the seventh to the root, I'll play the F sharp on the slide and slide right up. Same way, if I'm in G7 or G minor and I want to play the minor 7 up to the root, just play the F. So that's one way, one easy way to think about things. So you think about the note that you're going for, and you finger that note, and then you just play up to it from however many half steps you want to. So I can even play an E to a G. The opposite is also true. I also do the opposite from time to time, which is I will finger a note and then I'll move to another note that I know I can get to down below it. So let's say I want to go from an A flat to a G. So I'll finger the A flat with the slide all the way in, so that's an A flat, and then I'll just slide down half step to the G. So essentially, I kind of learned for the three positions other than all the way in, for one half step lower, a whole step lower, and a minor third lower, I've kind of figured out where I will be. So if I'm fingering an E and I have the slide all the way down a minor third, I know I'm on a C sharp. So I can even do things where I'm not going to go directly from the C sharp to the E, but I'm going to go through a D. There's your E for reference. So that's the way I think about using the valves and the slide in conjunction. To illustrate this, an easy way to illustrate this, and also a pretty good exercise, is to take a raga and play the the gamakam that I told you about last time, the ahatam, which is basically going from one note to the next, repeating the lower note and sliding up to the next note up. I'm going to choose the raga Kirvani, not because it happens to be called the same in Hindustani music and Carnatic music, but rather just because it's a pretty straightforward raga. Here, I will play it for you, just straight, without any gamakams. Those of you familiar with Western music will probably realize that it sounds similar to the Western harmonic minor scale, which is basically what it is. So now, if I were to play that raga and do the ahadam, it would be kind of like this. So, on the way up, you can see what I do is I finger the first note in the scale. Then I finger the second note in the scale, but I drop the slide back down to the first note of the scale and then slide up to it. And I repeat that on each note. So the G I play, then I finger an A, and play a G, come up to the A, finger a B flat, but play an A, slide up to the B flat, and so on. Let me see if I can do that slowly for you. Then, of course, on the way down, it's the opposite. I finger the note that I start on and slide down to the note below it, and then pull the slide back in and finger the note that I was just playing. And Kirvani has the advantage, like actually many ragas, where neighboring notes are less than a minor third, or a minor third or less apart. So you can totally use the slide to get all the notes in the scale if you're fingering. The widest interval, of course, is between the flatted sixth and the natural seventh, which in the key of G is E flat and F sharp. So I'll leave you with that for now, and I think next week I'll see if I can choose another raga, maybe a little more difficult as far as getting around on the Firebird, and I'll see if I can get into skipping intervals that are larger than a minor third. Thank you once again for tuning in, and hope this has been educational and helpful and useful, or at least interesting to you.